Each breath you make, which is more shallow than the day before, will result in a drop in happiness, focus, and performance. When you have a period of shallow breathing, your baseline heart rate will become higher, causing you to lower it more often manually. The lower your resting heart rate, the better it will compound into activities and performance and development and recovery. So last week I was journaling and I was trying to really regain my presence and my consciousness to try and help or further enhance my performance in memory and recovery, and to be able to find it easier to discipline myself to do the hard things that I actually enjoy doing. So when I say each breath you make, which is more shallow than the day before, if you, for example, if you were to record your normal breathing pattern for a minute or an hour, and you track how many breaths you take or make in that minute, and in that minute you also try and determine how present you were to the way you were breathing in that minute, how much you were actually in the room, you were present, you understood the way you were feeling when you were breathing, you were thinking about your body and your breath flowing through your body, combined with how much you were breathing in that minute, you will find that it is much higher and you are less able to focus in that minute compared to me or other people. And you may even want to stop breathing sat down. You may want to do something else. You may want to go on your phone. You may want to go and play a game. You might want to watch some TV. You might want to do something that is easy to do, is very pleasurable. But if you want to be more happier, if you want to be healthier, if you want to improve your focus, if you want to improve your performance, you need to discipline yourself to want to breathe fully, breathe carefully, and breathe so that you understand the place you're in. Because it is far better to breathe in a controlled manner than to breathe shallow through your mouth. If you're constantly breathing quickly through your mouth, then you are actually hurting your heart. You are actually damaging your health. Obviously, if you're training or in physical activity where your heart rate is being heightened and you are struggling to gather your breath, maybe you're even in a fight, or maybe you're in a very hard situation where it's hard to regain your breath, then maybe this can apply. But if you're just going about your day, if your heart rate doesn't need to be higher because you're sitting down or you're just walking, you're not even talking, you're just going about your day, why don't you have any control over the way you're breathing? Why can't you control the way you're thinking? Why can't you unconsciously stop yourself from wanting to not be in the position that you're in, not be in the place that you're in? And nowadays it is much harder to seek this life where you're actually not distracted by other people, you're actually not distracted by social media or other influences that are actually bad for you. But problems arise when you stop listening to yourself and you start just listening to other things like your phone and people saying to do things. If you were told to jump off a cliff, you wouldn't do it. So if you're told by your brain, or if you're told by other people to do something, 50% or 75% of the time, you actually don't think to consider if that thing you're about to do is good for you, because a lot of the time it isn't. Even if someone else tells you to do something or persuades you to do something, it's usually never the right thing to do. If someone is persuading you to do something, then they are trying to persuade you to join them in having fun or being fulfilled in short-term pleasures, in short-term gratification. But that is never the solution to being happy. That is never the solution to being positive. Like I talked about in the recent video, if you are constantly kind and if you are constantly caring and disciplining yourself to be positive to others or other situations, then you will find that it is far harder for you to be influenced by others. And if you are influenced by others, sometimes you should be able to stop yourself from being in the situation because you know that it is the wrong situation to be in. You may have never thought about doing this, but if you are out at a party or if you're in a club or if you're in a situation that is very egotistical or degenerate, why have you never been honest, telling other people that you don't want to be here? You've had some grit to tell people this isn't what you want to be doing this evening. You would rather be asleep, preparing for tomorrow. They might not like it, but there's nothing wrong with understanding the places that you want to be in. There's nothing wrong with seeing the problems at hand, being present, breathing fully, and understanding that you actually don't want to be here. If you take 3 present, focused breaths in a scenario where you feel like it's a bit controversial whether you should be there or not, you may come up with a solution that has been brought to you by your side of the brain that is clever, that is smart, that is conscious, and hands down, that is the right decision. That is the right decision to make. So make the right decision. I'm going to continue to talk about breathing and what I actually was planning to talk about in this video. So when you are shallow breathing for a full day, you may end the day by feeling like you have no control. You may feel like you are quite tired mentally. But if you do the opposite, and if you set a goal to lower your breathing or lower your heart rate by a certain amount, if you lower the amount of breaths that you make, if you go through the whole day shallow breathing or breathing heavy, you may find that you're mentally tired in the evening. You may find that you're quite exhausted or have little to no control over your breath in the evening. But on the other hand, if you focus on lowering the amount of breaths that, lowering the amount of breaths that you make per day, you'll find that you're actually able to be more focused. You'll find that you're more happy. You're able to see more clearly in the day, and you may end up in the evening compared to the other scenario. You may find that in this scenario, you are able to actually, cut that bit. You may find that you are able to look back on the day and see the problems that you have handled, see situations where you could have been better. Maybe you find that you could have been more present in a certain situation in your day. Maybe you were talking to someone and you didn't realize it in the moment, but you had no control of your breath. But maybe you were talking to them and you were just like daydreaming. You were looking up, you were looking around, and then in that moment they asked you a question which was the most important question, and you couldn't answer it because you weren't present. Inside you may have been so annoyed with yourself, and that is brilliant because it's reacting to what you have been doing, how you have changed. Because before, if you hadn't have changed yourself, if you were still breathing shallowly, if you were still unhappy, you may have had zero care whether you listened to the question or not. But now that you have changed yourself, you have created a life where you're breathing in a focused manner, you're more present, you're more happy, you may be more disciplined. You're going to be far more annoyed with yourself and far more likely to want to do better in that scenario compared to the other scenario. So hopefully it will make you want to be more present, be more careful, be more focused in day-to-day activities where it is far harder to be present because maybe you're tired, maybe you've eaten and it has heightened your heart rate. Maybe you've done an activity that has been physically hard. It doesn't mean that because your heart rate has gone up from doing something, that is how you're going to be for the rest of the day. You can discipline yourself to lower your heart rate by forcing longer breaths, forcing more focused breaths, and bringing more oxygen in. And if you are able to do this, which is perfectly going on to the last paragraph that I wrote down today, if you lower your heart rate, if you lower the amount of times that you, if you lower the amount of times that you breathe in a minute, even if you're doing something that is quite physically straining, or maybe it's stressful, you will lower your resting heart rate and you will make yourself healthier, and you will feel healthier mentally and physically. You may be able to feel that you can run for longer. You may feel like you are able to walk longer whilst being able to talk and whilst being able to think about the conversation that you're having whilst walking or whilst running. And this is such a brilliant thing about life, is that you can improve yourself by doing something so small and something that is so easy to do, but you have never thought to do it. And it will improve so much of your life you did not realize that you were able to improve. And I'm hoping, if you're the sort of person that is able to listen to advice that will change your life, you will take this and you will go away and try to take small steps to improve yourself and develop yourself. And that is this video. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you have taken something away that you can improve on, that you can build on to improve yourself or improve the relationship with yourself or others. Like I say, if you have any questions or queries about this video or any other videos, make sure to either write them in the comments or message me on Instagram. Thomas Venn1 should be linked down below. Have a good rest of your day. Peace out.